It having reached the hour of 5:30, I am calling the September 27th, 2022 Modesto City Council meeting to order and ask the city clerk to call the roll.
Councilmember Canoyer.
Present.
Vice Mayor Wright.
Here.
Councilmember Scutier-Brayton.
Here.
Councilmember Madrigal.
Here.
Councilmember Ricky.
Present.
And Mayor Zwellen.
Here. Would you all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag, followed by the invocation from Cindy Marks from Pray Modesto. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We'll bow our heads. Dear Heavenly Father, I thank you for this day. You said in Scripture that this is the day the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. I also praise you for your mercies that are new every morning. I ask you, Father, to bless each council member, the mayor, the staff represented, and the guests here tonight. I ask that you grant each one wisdom from above for every decision made in this building, and that their decisions would bless our city. I pray that all of us would treat each other with kindness and respect. May we honor you with our words and our actions. I praise you, Lord, for you are good. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much, Cindy. Does the city clerk have any announcements?
Yes, Mayor. Just a reminder, public comment is limited to 3 minutes, and we have blue speaker cards out the lobby.
Thank you. Are there any conflicts of interest from council members? Seeing none, we will have a report from closed session from our city attorney, Jose Sanchez.
Yes, Mayor. The council had closed session today and considered two existing litigation items. No reportable action was taken.
Thank you very much. Next is item 1, acknowledgements and presentations. This is a presentation of certificates of recognition honoring the heroism of Daniel Cabral, Gil Espinosa, Jesus Garcia, and Shannon Wiggins. Welcome. This is our Fire Chief, Alan Ernst.
All right, good evening, Mayor, Council, City Manager. We'd like to take this opportunity to recognize some very heroic individuals in our community that helped us out on an incident, and I got a little description of it, and then I'll read the report of the incident, and then we'll invite them up for their certificates. So on behalf of the Modesto Fire Department, we'd like to take this time and opportunity to recognize some of our citizens for their actions and contributions to our community. We're honored to present Daniel Cabral, Gil Espinosa, Jesus Garcia, and Shannon Wiggins with the Modesto Fire Department Citizen Accommodation of Merit Award for their actions on scene of a structure fire. The Citizens Accommodation of Merit Award is awarded to citizen in recognition of outstanding and exemplary service involving exceptional performance, effort, bravery, or heroism at the scene of an emergency. So on the morning of Tuesday, August 16th, 2022, we had a 3-alarm structure fire at the Casa de Paz Apartments. This building is on Bridgeford Lane, and at the time of the fire broke out, Daniel, Gil, and Jesus were on scene performing their landscaping duties around the property. And before our units arrived, the 3 gentlemen were quick to jump into action, banging on doors and assisting residents with evacuation from their units before their escape route would be compromised by the fire. Shannon was nearby during the time of the fire, and as a medical professional, she did not hesitate to look for a way to assist. She located a resident who unfortunately suffered serious burns and began initial care, and then provided immediate transport to emergency care for that individual. Her time and resources was a measurable impact on this man's treatment and recovery. The valiant and selfless efforts of Daniel, Gil, Jesus, and Shannon were instrumental in preserving the citizens' safety and ultimately saving lives, earning them the Modesto Fire Department Citizen Accommodation of Merit Award. And with that, I'd like to bring up Gil, Daniel, Jesus and Shannon, if they're present. Come on up.
Welcome.
So we have Daniel?
Yes.
All right, thank you very much. Gil? All right, thank you very much. And Jesus? Thank you very much. We get a quick photo here, and I don't know if the mayor,
Sure.
would you like to come down?
Yeah, please,
Council?
please stay here, and we'd like to make some comments also. But if you want to, do you want to take your photo first with
we
them,
can
or
wait.
do you want with the whole group? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Are there any comments from council members?
I do, Mayor.
All right, Vice Mayor Wright.
You know, it's citizens like you that make Modesto a great place. And thank you for risking your life and saving others. And you did a great job. And we just want to thank you for your service to our community here.
Yes. It says so much about your character that you would be willing to do this. I was following it on social media, not just as it was happening, but afterwards, and immediately people were recognized your heroism, and we're so appreciative. All the comments, everyone in the community. So thank you so much. I do have certificates that we will also present to you. This says to each one of you, on behalf of the Modesto City Council, I commend you for assisting during a fire at Casa de Paz Apartments on August 16th, 2022. Before emergency responders arrived, you and others alerted residents to the fire. Your quick actions helped to prevent the situation from being much worse, and is a wonderful example of showing concern for others and putting your best self forward in service to them. And I've signed that, and our council will join you for both awards. Yes, Councilmember Madrigal.
Hi, hi. ¿Hablan español? Sí. I'm going to say it in Spanish. Es un verdadero orgullo nombrarlos ustedes como parte de nuestra comunidad aquí en Modesto que pues, con tanto heroísmo hicieron por otros. Me recuerda mucho del dicho que dice, hoy por ti, mañana por mí. Y sin duda este es simplemente uno de los muchos otros ejemplos donde ustedes se ve que han ayudado a otras personas, pero esta vez fue capturado, obviamente. I was saying it's a real pride and honor to count you amongst our Modesto community, and their heroism reminds me of an old saying in Spanish that says, today I do for you, and tomorrow for me. And it's, I'm sure, one of many other acts of kindness that they've engaged in, but this one happened to be captured, and we were able to praise you accordingly. Muchas gracias.
Thank you. All right.
Mayor, real quickly. Oh, sure. I just also want to thank you, gentlemen, for just stepping up and demonstrating your valor to our community. We deal with all kinds of issues here at the City Council, but these moments really touch my heart. Thank you very much. Muchísimas gracias por su valor y su habilidad de ayudar a otros humanos. Esto es un gran orgullo, no solamente para nosotros que estamos en este cuarto y para sus familias, pero para la comunidad. Muchísimas gracias y que Dios los bendiga y gracias por estar aquí en Modesto.
Councilmember Canoyer.
We're very proud of you, and it does take people like you make a city like Modesto want people to live here. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
Next is item 2, a presentation of proclamation to Philips Lighting, recognizing their 75th anniversary. And I will read the proclamation. Philips Lighting and Home was founded in 1947 by Elton and Wilma Phillips. Elton grew up in Houston and Wilma grew up in Turlock. In his early years, Elton attended MJC and then got his electrical engineering degree from Heald's College in San Francisco. He then worked for the Turlock Irrigation District until joining the Navy at the outbreak of World War II, working with electrical and electronic equipment. After the war, Elton got his electrical contractor's license and moved to Modesto. In early 1946, he purchased a lot at 930 Virginia Avenue, just south of Roseburg, and at that time across the street from the railroad tracks. He built a small house for his young family, and with the rest of his savings, purchased what electrical materials he could and built Phillips Electric Shop on their property in front of the house. The business grew quickly, and in 1953, Elton purchased property at 116 West Orangeburg Avenue, just off McHenry Avenue, which at that time was in the outskirts of Modesto. With orchards and farms all around, friends and family members questioned whether it was a wise decision to move so far away from town. The brand new 4,000 square foot new facility allowed him to add more electricians, TV services, antenna installations, a salesman and a manager, plus, in quotes, 2 girls in the office. With 12 employees, Phillips Electric was doing well. In 1955, another 2,000 square feet was added to the building. Over the course of the coming decades, Phillips Electric became highly regarded in the area. During the 1950s and 60s, Phillips Electric became a prominent TV, stereo, and appliance store. Phillips sold the first color TVs and hi-fi stereo consoles in Modesto. Over the years, as the retail landscape changed through the 70s and 80s, appliances and the TV stereo departments were slowly phased out, and the lighting side of the business continued to grow. Jerry Phillips, Elton and Wilma's son, joined the business in the late 1970s. Chuck Arnold and Karen Phillips Arnold, Elton and Wilma's daughter, joined the business in 1988. Carrie Arnold, Chuck and Karen's daughter, joined the business in 1999, the same year that Jerry retired. Phillips was on its way to becoming a 3-generation company. In 2000, it was decided to change the name of the business to Phillips Lighting and Home to better reflect the type of store it had become. In 2005, Phillips Lighting and Home won the National Arts Award for Best Lighting Showroom, Western Region. In 2011, Phillips' current space was remodeled and the move was made to the Granger side of McHenry Village. Now, therefore, the Modesto City Council does hereby recognize and congratulate Phillips Lighting and Home on its 75th anniversary and best wishes for continued success. Dated today. So today, do we have Carrie here with us? Carrie Arnold. Here we are. I remember almost all of this, so that's why I was getting a little emotional, and Jenny probably does remember all of it. So, yes. So welcome, Carrie. We have a certificate for you. Would you like to make a few comments? Please step up to the podium.
I hadn't planned any comments.
Just you step and speak into the microphone so everyone can hear. Thank you.
Okay. I'm sorry that my mom and dad, Chuck and Karen, can't be here. They both still work in the business, although not full-time anymore. They just couldn't make it this afternoon. And I always think of my grandparents who I had relationships, especially my grandma Wilma Phillips, and I think she would be really proud that we've kept this company growing and current. And I have 3 of our employees here.
Welcome.
To join us. And they've all worked for us for many, many years, and we're looking forward to the future. Thank you.
All right. Remain here. And are there any council members that have remarks? All right. We will come down and present you with the certificate, and a photo will be taken.
Oh, I think Councilmember Ricky had a comment.
Oh, Councilmember Ricky has his hands raised. I'm sorry, Chris.
It's okay. It's hard to see. It's newfangled technology, right? But I just wanted to thank Phillips Lighting for all their contributions to our community. It's just so nice to have a local store that specializes in lighting and just has great service and care and high quality inventory for everyone to look at, and it's based right here in Modesto. It's a special place. It's an important landmark, and I know my family enjoys it a lot, and it's just really great to have in the community. So thanks for sticking around and being a great part of it.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you.
I just want to add, here's to 75 more, right?
There's 75 more. That would be great.
Your brother was in Rod's class. Yeah. Familiar face.
Sarah should be in the picture. You can send us a picture.
Yeah. You can give him the phone. I don't know. I will be responsible for making sure everybody gets the photos. That might be a problem.
All right, here we go. Everyone smile and wait each other. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and 3. Can you go with it?
Awesome. Thank you.
Nothing like it. Thank you. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. There you go.
Thank you very much. Thank you. All right. Take care.
I really want to ask him a lighting question right now.
All right. Item 3. We have the 2022 Achievement of Excellence in Procurement Award by the National Procurement Institute. Presenting will be our City Manager, Joe Lopez.
Thank you, Mayor. The National Procurement Institute, better known as NPI, founded in 1968, is designed to establish cooperative relationships among its members to develop efficient purchasing methods and practices in the area of governmental, educational, and institutional procurement. The mission of NPI is to facilitate the education and professional development and procurement of its members across the nation. NPI is focused on leading excellence in public procurement. In 1995, the NPI established the Achievement of Excellence in Procurement Award, which recognizes organizations that demonstrate commitment to innovation, professionalism, productivity, e-procurement, and leadership attributes. Over the last 4 years, the Finance Department's Purchasing Division has collaborated with all city departments to drastically revamp our purchasing practices and policies, systems, controls, and much more. To demonstrate our commitment, the City of Modesto submitted our first MPI application for this award. The application process was an 18-part submission which focused on demonstrating Modesto's ethical standards, continuous procurement training, purchasing and procurement card policies and procedures, system processes, customer service, training, best practice, and contract authority. With our first submission, the City of Modesto has been awarded for the first time the Annual Achievement of Excellence in Procurement Award from MPI in recognition of the city's purchasing policies and practices. The City of Modesto is only one of 54 cities in the United States and Canada to receive this esteemed award. This would not be possible without the entire organization committing to improvement and diligence in this very important process. In particular, I'd like to recognize Deanna Christensen, our Director of Finance, Cynthia Klein, our Purchasing Manager, Maria Garnica, our Accounting Manager, the entire purchasing and accounting staff, who all deserve a tremendous amount of credit for their steadfast commitment to putting the processes and procedures in place to bring us to this point. As this process affects the entire organization, I'd like to thank the department heads and their staff involved in the purchasing process for their commitment as well. This truly was an organizational effort and is a reflection of our ongoing commitment to improving our processes and making sure that we have proper standards in place. So thank you and congratulations to our entire staff.
Okay. Would you like to step forward? Deanna is our Director of Finance.
And here's the award, Mayor.
Okay. Council members, did you have comments?
I do, Mayor.
All right, Vice Mayor Wright.
Thank you. You know, I've served on several different committees over the last 11 years, and I've got to firsthand see how our city operates. And Deanna, you and your staff and the whole city organization do a tremendous job on dotting the I's, crossing the T's, making sure we're doing everything right. And I just tell people that we've got a great staff that works hard to make this a great city, and I'm glad that you're a part of this city.
Right. I too have been impressed with every presentation that you've done. It is detail-oriented, which is exactly what we want to see with our procurement. And of course, all the math that goes along with it. We really appreciate your efforts. All right. Councilmember Madrigal.
Just want to say, as I'm sure you know and everybody knows, it's like, I don't think that we celebrate these successes enough. People only seem to remember the bad stuff, and it's always reassuring that we're also on top of it, for lack of a better word, and that we're even receiving awards for how well the city is run. And it does have to do with the dedication of individuals at your level and on the front lines carrying it out because you care. And so that's reassuring to me as a councilman. Thank you.
Right. Thank you. Councilmember Ricky.
Thank you, Mayor. The cliche that you hear a lot is that, government is not efficient with money, government does not manage budgets well, that kind of thing. And it's because of the work that you and your team are doing that I can say, look, you don't believe me, just look at our books. And I can have the confidence to know that we're doing it the best it can be done. And so I just really appreciate the effort you put in. And over the last couple of years, I've just really seen what a well-oiled machine you got going on in City Hall. So thank you for all you do.
All right, thank you. We will step down and give you this award. Welcome team also, thank you. All right, we will move on to item 4. Consider reappointing Craig Lewis to the Stanislaus Council of Governments Measure L Citizens Oversight Committee. Do council members have any questions of staff? Councilmember Madrigal, you're still on here? No? Okay. Councilmember Ricky, your hand is still raised. Do you have a question?
I do. I'm just concerned about the system that kind of enables this kind of reassigning consistently of people to committees in general. Because this is a reassignment, it bypasses the appointments committee, and we're having I'm not sure about this specific appointment, but in a lot of our committees, we're having trouble with people showing up and having trouble with committees not being able to meet at all. And a lot of that is because of this policy. And so I'm not real excited about this bypassing of the appointments committee, and I just wanted to put that out there.
All right. Thank you. All right. Are there any members of the public that have any comments or questions on item 4? I do see 3 hands raised. They've been up since the beginning of the meeting. I have something on my screen right now, so I can't see the names. There we go. I'm not sure if Samsung or Patrick or Alicia wanted to speak regarding item 4, because your hands are raised. Now I see a 4th hand up online also, Teresa. So, Samsung, did you want to speak regarding item 4?
You say yes.
All right. Patrick?
Yes, speak. Speak. They can let any.
Okay, Patrick?
No, I just want to be ready for my public comment, that's all.
Okay, Alicia? This is regarding item 4. Did you have a comment?
No.
No, waiting for my public comment.
Okay, great. Patrick?
No, he said no.
He said no. Okay, all right. So no comments from the public regarding this item.
Motion.
All right. I have a motion
Motion
for
to
resolution reappointing Craig Lewis to the Stancong Measure L Citizens Oversight Committee with a term expiration of September 30th, 2025. We have a motion from Vice Mayor Wright. Do I have a second? I will make the second. Will the city clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Canoyer,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Wright,
Aye.
Councilmember Scutia-Brayton,
Aye.
Councilmember Madrigal,
Aye.
Councilmember Ricky,
No.
and Mayor Zwallen.
Aye. So the motion carries 5-1. Next, we will move on to public comment period. Does anyone wish to speak on any item under public comment? This is for items not on the council agenda, and each person has 3 minutes to speak. And I have cards for certainly Ms. Countryman and Mr. Dafford. I will have you speak in just one moment. I will call them in the order that they were received, and as well as going back to our online guests. First is Perfecto Munoz. Welcome, Perfecto.
Mayor and members of the City Council, my name is Perfecto Munoz. I'm the Executive Director of the West Modesto Community Collaborative. I've come before you because I'm bringing to you the concern that we continuously have in terms of housing in our part of Modesto. The issue has become more serious than I expected. We have a number of families that are being evicted, and the prices of where they're currently being evicted from has doubled from what they currently were paying, so they no longer can afford to stay there. And I just learned another one today, and the list keeps growing. So this is something that the city needs to really invest some time and energy to really address this ongoing problem, especially on the rentals. I think it's getting a little out of control. And that's the important thing. The other part of my being in front of you today was that on Thursday, the 29th, I know you have another important meeting to address, but the community of West and South Modesto are having a housing summit, and we're addressing the concerns that the citizens have in terms of what we want to be able to do. And this meeting is coming up with a plan with suggestions on how we can bring forth to the city council with recommendations, not just coming and complaining. We want to be able to give you some ideas of what the residents are thinking about what needs to change and how we can work together to make that happen. So we have a number of speakers, and we also have a representative from the governor's office, Abigail Solis, who's their housing person out of the governor's office, and she will be there also presenting the ideas of what the governor's thinking about in terms of the housing issue that we faced in our community. So with that, I would encourage you to invest the time, come to the community, listen to what the concerns are, and seeing how we can all work together to solve the problem. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, Samsung. Did you have a comment to make? All right, we will come back.
Hello?
Hi there.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, you're on. We're able to hear you regarding public comment.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. I'm sorry, my phone was having difficulties. I just want to speak on behalf of Paul Chavez. I want to let the police officers know that are sitting on the opposite side of the room. You guys need a clean house. You have a weak link in your chain, and his name is Sam Muncie. You guys need to fix this. This is bad. It looks bad on us for Modesto. You'll have to excuse my voice. I lost my voice yelling at you guys at a protest because nobody wants to hear what we're saying. Modesto needs to fix this problem. The DA needs to pick up Paul Chavez's case. Do you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Good. I'm glad I got a confirmation on that.
Yes.
I hope the rest of the room hears me also.
Everyone can hear you.
This is ridiculous. We've heard nothing from the DA. Your DA is a weak link also. You guys need a clean house, including with the city council. I think maybe a couple of you guys are weak links too. You guys need to fix yourself. Fix Modesto for the community. Justice for Paul. Thank you.
You're welcome. Next, I have Vivian Lopez in person. Vivian Lopez. Welcome.
Hello, good evening to everybody here. And I just want to mention, I am so happy and it's a privilege to attend the different meetings that are held at the West Modesto Community Collaborative. Every time I go to the meetings, I always learn so much about what's happening in our town. And I am also concerned about the housing, like Mr. Perfecto Munoz mentioned. It's important for the community to have some options of where they can live affordably. One of the things that I wanted to also share is that I think it's really important for the city to get the word out about some of the different meetings that you have scheduled. And I myself, I read the Modesto Bee. I have the City of Modesto Facebook, the City of Modesto Instagram, and the Go app. But a lot of times, I don't see some of the important issues that are happening in our town announced there. So I just want to make sure that you know that, that there's a concern. I also wanted to say, like on Wednesday, September the 21st, the mayor, you came out with Tony Madrigal, and we had a meeting with yourselves, and you were able to inform us of some of the different things that are happening. For example, the Modesto Golf Course, you were able to mention that there were 2 meetings that have been held to listen to public input. And so some of the people there at the meeting on the 21st were a little concerned because they had not heard of these meetings being announced. And they have a lot of input to also that they want to share. I also attended on July the 26th. The City of Modesto is going through the general plan for 2050. And one of the things was asking us there to provide input of like, what are some of our concerns for the city? One of the top concerns is lack or poor communication. That's why I'm talking about, I know that we have Instagram, we have the City of Modesto, Facebook, and we have the Go app, but a lot of times those things are not announced. And it would be to the benefit of the City of Modesto to increase your investment in the communication department and the budget for technology to improve the social media technology. The city is doing a lot of great things, but you're not getting the word out. You're not getting the word out about opportunities for the community to provide input. And I think if you improve and spend money on this improvement for the communication area, and it's so simple to do, that you would see that a lot of the city residents would be a lot more satisfied and see a lot of the things that you're working on. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Next online, Patrick Thomas.
Hello? You hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right, I'm going to start off with the quote. Many officers will go their entire career without shooting, sometimes without pulling their gun out at all, said Peter Sheriff, a criminologist and professor in the School of Public Health at Louisiana State University and co-author of The Badge and the Bullet, Police Use of Deadly Force. It's Rare. So I want to talk about Samuel Muncie and other officers with the Modesto Police Department, including Joseph Lamantia. Paul Chavez was Officer Muncie's second killing. Trevor Seaver was Officer Lamantia's 4th fatal shooting. So I asked the members of the council, are you going to wait until Officer Muncie kills 2 more times before he is fired and charged, like Officer Lamantia? Do 2 more families have to grieve and be afraid of police? If this continues, the trust for Modesto police will be forever gone. It's not just Paul Chavez's family and friends that are talking here tonight in meetings of the past. It's important that the community feels safe and protected when they see MPD driving around patrolling, not scared, reactive, and stalked. The men and women of the Modesto Police Department work hard every day to build and maintain positive relationships. I understand Officer Lamantia's actions have set us back. Our department is dedicated to serving the public and committed to rebuilding any trust we have lost. That was Chief Gillespie. It troubles me to hear that quote, knowing less than 2 years later, we are right back where we started when Trevor Seaver was wrongfully killed and Paul Chavez was killed 2 years later. There has not been any rebuilding of trust, no positive relationships made, and the next generation now knows that police are not always good. Before today, me and Paul both told our kids that the police are good guys. But now I have to tell my boys that there are some bad cops that don't make the right choices. I still support police. I still believe there are good cops, but now I think twice before saying all cops are good. I recently got a conditional offer from Stanislaus County for a maintenance engineer position, but I was denied for something very small. And now knowing that Stanislaus County and Modesto will hire murderers instead of a blue-collar family man as myself, it's sickening. and to know that the statements that Chief Gillespie says are nothing but words, as no actions come from his words. It troubles me knowing that Paul was wrongfully killed, and this man, Samuel Muncie, is still here stalking the streets of Modesto. I work for the public school system, and I have seen kindergartners with better problem-solving skills than Sam Muncie showed that fateful day of July 14th when Sam Muncie decided to be judge, jury, and executioner and kill Paul. The DA needs to pick up this case. Sam Muncie needs to be fired and tried. I tried to contact Josh Harder's office and was informed that the corruption in Modesto goes much further than just the city and extends to the national stage. That's all I got to say. I'll see you at the next meeting, guys.
Thank you. Next is Tina Perez Tateo.
That's twice, Mayor. You get it, you get it. Hey, is it okay if I bring a couple of my friends with me?
Sure.
Come on. Good evening, Mayor and City Council members. These are my two good friends. Of course, you know my friend Betty. This is my friend Kathy and my friend Sandy and my friend Josie. And they're here to support the Modesto Cruisers Council. My name is Tina Perez Tateo, and I'm a proud member of the Modesto Cruisers Council. I'm here today to ask you all to please put on the agenda to lift the ban on cruising. Our last cruise on September 9th went very well, and we are preparing to do a cruise in October for breast cancer awareness. I went back to every business that we have gave flyers to and asked how everything went from our last cruise, and all the businesses said that they did very well and that they were busy. So we were happy to do that. So anyway, we just want to, have another cruise for the cancer. We're actually calling it Crush Cancer Cruise, and that'll be in October on the 21st. So anyways, I just wanted to thank the ladies here. They all have their own cars, and they cruise, and we all cruise together. And you might not have seen that 30 years ago, but with the woman empowerment movement, we're here to say, we ain't going nowhere.
The girls, okay? As they would put it 40 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, we're a good group, and, we don't mean anybody harm, and we're just out there to do good for our community. With, coming up, we have Thanksgiving, so we'll have turkey giveaways, and then, of course, Toys for Tots in December is really big, so just want to say that, and thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you. All right. Online, I see Alicia.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so I'm talking on the behalf of my brother, Paul Chavez, who was wrongfully killed on July 14th from Sam Muncie, and with the help of his partner, Sergio Valencia, and of course the AMT and the rest of the Modesto Police Department. I'm not going to be complaining this time about your guys' role in not doing enough and the fact of trying to get the DA to pick the case. I am going to be complaining, though, about you not using your platform right. So in the past, you guys didn't want to use your platform. You guys want to be quiet. You guys don't want to stand up for what's right. When there's plenty of people who don't have a voice, who, 1920s, women didn't have a right to vote or to speak or to have a job, nor did anybody in the 1800s have a right to speak unless they were white, intelligent, and had money. Considering that nowadays would be less than 1% of people, I urge you guys to use your platform in the respect that it was given to you guys. Half of you guys are women, half of you guys are colored, and half of you guys are not millionaires. So why aren't you guys using your advantage to take your platform to the next level? I urge you to do this and to take my invitation to our petition for police brutality on October 16th. It's a Saturday, on October 22nd. It's a Saturday, and it's going to be between 1 o'clock and whenever you guys get tired. This is a time for you guys all to shine, all 6 of you guys. This is a time for us to put all of our things aside and to not say that it's your guys' fault, but instead to give you an olive branch of coming together as a community, using your platform of this is what we do when we're adults and we know this is right. We know what's wrong, and this was wrong in the eyes of the people, and we're going to be standing as representatives as the people because I know that's your guys' service. So I hope to see you guys there October 22nd at 1 p.m. We will be going from a few parks, starting at, I know Martin Luther King, MLK on California and Paradise, and I'd love to see you guys there to help the community, starting with the minorities and really working our way around Modesto as we all should be one, just as you guys all 6 are different ethnicities, different age groups, and different perspectives. So let's all come together and really use everything we have. We know that what we have in our power is good enough, and we're not going to call you out on what you don't have in your power. Use your platform. I'll see you there October 22nd, MLK Park. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, Kathy Zumbrin.
I was up there with Tina, so thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Online, Flavio.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, so my name is Flavio Huizar, and I am from Sacramento. I actually represent, I'm the outreach coordinator, outreach liaison for the Sacramento Lowrider Commission, and I'm actually here in support of the Modesto community. As you know, in Modesto, it's very diverse, as you know. But one of the things that I'm hearing, even just listening to this council meeting, is I'm hearing divisions and I'm hearing these things that have happened in our community. And how many of us know that to build community trust, sometimes you have to remove some of these things that have been put in place by other people from years and years ago. And what I'm speaking about is the no cruising ordinance that you guys have in your city. Currently, you have an ordinance that has racially profiled brown and black communities for a very long time. And there's people right now that are cruising that weren't even born when this ban came into effect. And now you're affecting these communities by saying that you're less than, that you're not worthy of being able to cruise the community that you live in. When we think about the cruising community, when we think about what the things that the lowriding community does, from beanie drives to backpack drives to supporting different things that are happening in the community, from trick or trunk events to different events. I mean, the lowriding community has been here and will continue to support its community that it's invested in, but it needs the support of the city to be able to remove an ordinance that is racially profiling them and making them feel less than. When we think about signs and we think about the South and we understand the signs that were there that said black only and white only, these signs are gone. But how many of us know the stigma is still there? What I ask of this council is to look at yourselves and see what this cruising ordinance was based upon. It's based upon racially profiling brown communities. Why is it that your signs are only in the red line districts of Modesto? It's because that's where you intended to profile communities. I ask you to put it on your agenda. Put it and discuss it and remove this ordinance so that we can move forward as a community. This is, you know, as you know, Luz Rivas introduced ACR 176, and it passed in the assembly, and it's gone all through the assembly. Now it's this resolution is asking all the cities of California to look at the cruising community and to partner with them. What we need to do is partner together as we've been doing. And I ask you to look at this and put it on your agenda. Remove it off the books because it's racially profiling communities. This is, you know, when people go out and cruise, it's their opportunity. It's a form of mental health for many of these men and women. And we're talking about diverse community. We're talking about African American. We're talking about Asian. We're talking about Caucasian. We're talking about Hispanics. Lowriding and cruising is a wonderful thing. And I ask you to put it on your agenda, remove it off your books, and welcome the lowriding community as it's been helping and continuing to build community. Thank you for your time. You guys have a good day.
Thank you. Next, Jerry Thompson.
This time I'm taking my hat off at my wife's request, so if there's a glare off my head from the light, cover your eyes, don't feel bad.
All right.
I'm gonna read something here on behalf of our president, Mason Sanchez. It says, "Dear members of the City Council and Mayor, City Manager, the Modesto Cruisers Council are requesting discussion and action repealing the city's Cruising Ordinance. In repealing the ordinance, it will send a message to the minority communities that the City Council is serious about the commitment to equality in our community and that there is no discrimination against any particular group, including the lowrider and car community. From an economic perspective, a cruise has the potential to bring many individuals to the downtown area, which will benefit the downtown and neighboring businesses. We respectfully request that this item be placed on a safety and communities agenda for discussion and consideration. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to him." Cruising does bring a lot of ethnic groups together. In our community, we all get along very well. If somebody's in a tight situation or their car's broke down, we're there to help them no matter what the color that person is. We're a colorblind organization or group. By lifting this ban, I think it sends the message to the rest of the state and the rest of the nation that we're a community that doesn't want to oppress or stifle the freedoms of people that want to have that ability to intermingle with each other and cruise together without concern of the signs being up that they are going to be profiled. It does happen in some cities. Modesto, with our behalf of Chief Gillespie, he's been working with us very well. He's been giving us solid, good advice, and he's also listened to our requests. And so we're hoping by lifting this ban, it shows that you have trust in us like we have trust in you. And that helps build the community even stronger. By action alone speaks more than words. So thank you.
Thank you. Online, I see Richard Anderson.
One more thing, Mayor.
Oh, excuse me, Richard, hold on just one moment.
I have a letter of support from other groups.
Okay, great. Would you like to share that with our clerk? Oh, thank you. All right. Thank you very much. All right, Richard Anderson.
Hello. Yes. Thank you very much.
Uh-huh.
First, I wanted to say it's great for me personally to witness all the awards that the council makes. That's one way to really bind people together and make Modesto seem like a really good place to be. And so thank you for continuing the Zoom access for people who may be shut-ins, et cetera. It just really enfranchises a lot more people. Thank you. But I want to check in again with you about whether the city council has been successful in inviting Dr. Wakoli Wakesa, who's the entomologist in charge of the East Side Mosquito Abatement District, to come in and make a presentation. The mosquito problem is harsh now, and in 2 months it's going to be something people don't want to pay any attention to. But I think that we need some public education about the mosquito abatement processes and why they do what they do and how it can be done safely, and that'll be a really good thing. I want to protect other night sleepers. We were sleeping at 4:30 in the morning some weeks ago, and then I had requested some mosquito help, and little did I know that they were going to come at 4:30 in the morning while we were sleeping with our window open, and then do a fogging. And well, it was a bad experience with me, especially since I have one lung cancer. And so I've heard other stories of people who were out walking and got fogged. So that's a problem that needs to be addressed. And I think we could really address it well if we invite the district over. I know that you can't make them come, but I talked to Dr. Wakesa, and he is very interested in coming and doing a program. Thank you.
You're welcome. In person, Sandra Mello. Next.
Hello, my name is Sandra Mello. I'm one of the cruisers. I'm one of the girls. It all comes down to money. Not enough money for policemen, not enough money to, I guess, supervise us. I don't know if I need supervising at this age. The other thing is back to money. Three things: money, money, money. We spend a lot of money for this community. I think the cruisers, male, female, young, old, comes down to money. We spend money to this community. We have never had in our groups the problems that I'm hearing that we're causing. So if the money, there's not enough policemen, which I have heard, why are there not enough policemen? I was informed tonight about their base salary. That is a problem. When something around $70,000 is an average income, well, and the Modesto police, when they get hired, are not making that. So back to the money, back to us being supervised. I think it's a wonderful thing that we have this cruising. We spend money. The policemen, let me put this correctly. When us girls cruise or when our groups cruise, we very seldom see very many policemen. I don't know when this is a problem for the city, maybe right around graffiti, when a lot of people come from out of town, but these groups that we get together to 300-400 cars, several of us cruise, some of us don't cruise. There's a few that peel out. We try to eliminate that. We're always going to have that, whether it's the young ones, the older ones. We are trying to limit that. But I just think it's a really good thing for the city. So thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. Next, Carol Blomquist and Jane Manley. Welcome.
Good evening. We are Carol Bloomquist and Jane Manley, volunteers with the Stanislaus Library Foundation. We're here to share with you the depth and breadth of services by the library, Stanislaus Library, provided by the Stanislaus County Library System. Focusing on your Modesto branch, we are thrilled to see 60% increase in the Summer Reading Challenge, over 1,000 participants this year. The California State Library collaborates with our library to provide free visitor passes for more than 200 state parks. These passes can be checked out for 14 days. A partnership with County Workforce Development offers expanded access to career resources and services for job seekers at the library. Did you know that the library...
Please speak into that speaker where we can actually hear you.
Okay, is that better?
Thank you.
Okay. Did you know that the libraries have programs for families of young children? These programs include story times for preschoolers, during which young children are introduced to the magic of books. The staff members who conduct these sessions are all trained in child literacy development, so they know exactly what the little ones need, including songs, games, finger plays, and stories. Parents and caregivers can check out Read to Me kits that contain 4 to 6 books, a puppet or prop, a music CD, a bilingual finger play booklet, and a bilingual school readiness tip sheet. Kits are available in English and Spanish. Some of the themes are dogs, colors, and amazing me. Another program is the 1,000 Books Before Kindergarten. This free program is for infants, toddlers, and preschool-aged children, encouraging caregivers to read 1,000 books to their little ones before they start kindergarten, a goal experts say children need to help them learn to read for themselves.
Well, so you might think from what Carol just told you that the services at the library are only focused on children, but that's not true. In reality, our system provides for the full spectrum of lifelong learning in our entire community. All programs are available to everyone, no matter where you live in the county. For families with older children and teens, there are coding classes, computer availability, and online resources. Some teens do their homework in the libraries. There's a wildly popular program called Teen Book Box. Each box contains a hand-picked reading recommendation based on the teen's preferences with swag and a treat. And there's a long waiting list for these. There's never enough of them. At the senior end of the spectrum, there's county residents who are homebound and don't have the ability to get to the library. Volunteers in the home delivery program check out books on their wish list to deliver and pick up later. Book clubs can borrow multiple copies of books, including a large print and CD edition, to read and discuss together. And overall, the library materials collection is extensive, meeting the wide array of diverse interests in our community, from medical information and learning new skills to enriching our curious minds. All these examples indicate that our library system truly serves to create lifelong learners in Stanislaus County. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. I have a written transcript of that all of us will get. Next is Ramon Rodriguez.
Good evening, Madam Mayor. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Regarding the Modesto Police Department, there are the commonality between the cases of Trevor Seaver, Alonso Nunez, and Paul Chavez. All three officers involved in the incidents, the excessive use incidents involving 2 deaths and 1 brutal injury, is that they failed to follow the proper procedure and arrest or checking up on people. And this is really disgusting, and it's still going on, because when Chief Gillespie said that Lamatia is sending back all the officers, that's just broken promises. What happened is that all these 3 officers and the officers involved in beating Alonso Nunez, they violated the law enforcement oath of honor. The last words, I will always maintain the highest ethical standards and uphold the values of my community and the agency I serve. Samuel Muncie did not show that. Joseph Lamatia never did that. And Dustin Espinosa as well. They just used violence and oppression against 3 different people. 2 of them unfortunately passed away, and 1 has a criminal charge, even though he maintained his innocence, that he did not resist the arrest or anything, and he still owes thousands of dollars in medical bills because Modesto beat him. So when are you going to start holding officers accountable and following the law enforcement oath of honor? Because this is really disgusting. And when you let this kind of culture of letting cops do violent things, it's building mistrust in the community. It's putting fear among people. But you know what's interesting is a month ago when they had the straight pride parade, officers were ready to use violence on counter-protesters, but they protected the Proud Boys and the straight pride far-right miscreants. Even though in one of the photos, the Proud Boys were committing a 314 PC violation. And also, one of the officers told the counter-protesters they can't wear a mask or anything. And they shot non-lethal weapons at counter-protesters. Yet they didn't do anything with the Proud Boys or anything. So where's the standards? Where's that accountability? Because you know what? The community is fed up. We need to see real change, not some cheap talk or anything. And we need justice now before it's going to be even worse. And I don't want to hear any more incidents involving a death or an injury of a person committed by the hands of a Modesto police officer or any law enforcement agency here in the county. Spending accountability and trust needs to be built right now. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for your comments. In person, Susan Mendieta.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Susan Mendieta Beasley, and I'm here wearing double hats, double duty tonight. I am a native Modestan. I love my hometown, and I want to see all kinds of wonderful things happen in my hometown. So each one of you should have received a flyer to the International Heritage Festival taking place on Saturday, October 1st. Yes, that's just days away, days away. And that's a time when we come together to celebrate our international heritage, where we learn about who we are. Growing up in Modesto, I was probably one of very few Hispanic children at school, and I always remember, how do I explain to the teacher what my family has at home, and my family is from Guatemala. And, I had a wonderful, wonderful teacher, Mrs. Essa, who in 5th grade, and that's when you learn about social studies, geography, the world, the mountains, the rivers, who just greatly inspired me of learning about myself, and we learned about the world in that class. So that made it much easier, and I imagine today that probably that child is still here, and I get very excited about the festival. In fact, we did have some children here, and I gave away all my coloring books except 2, which you can get a coloring book if you come to the International Festival on Saturday, October 1st. Hours are 10 to 3. We're going to be over at the Graffiti USA Car Museum. 11 a.m., you don't want to miss the opening ceremony. We have a wonderful soloist from Opera Modesto who will be singing our national anthem. And I have it on good authority that Uncle Sam will be visiting as well. Representing the USA is going to be the Modesto Nuts, our favorite American pastime, right? And we have wonderful sponsors, the Gallo Winery Foundation, the Gallo Winery, KRVR River, the Vine also. We also are very appreciative of a Past Cares nonprofit program grant that we received through Stanislaus Community Foundation and Stanislaus County. We have a long history with Modesto, and it was actually our past mayor, Mayor Carol Whiteside, during her tenure that the International Festival came about. So we hope to see you. We'll have the Heritage booth, of course, lots of crafts for children. And there's going to be cars there, international cars, so we'll learn about that as well. The second duty I'm doing, and I'm not sure how to manage my time, if that is 2 periods of 3 minutes?
Well,
or
each
how I
person
do that.
gets 3 minutes.
Okay. Well, I will very quickly tell you about joining us for the Parent Resource Center's 30th anniversary, a masquerade evening on Friday, October 7 at 6 p.m. It's tantalizing treats, variety of wine, and a silent auction. And we're going to have fun, festive masks. Not those masks that we've been wearing for the past couple years, but sequins, feathers, colors. So grab some nice, fun cocktail attire and come join us. Graciously hosted by Ben and Tiffany Prasad at their Rancho Del Rio home. And see me if you want tickets. And again, that's Friday, October 7. Thank you.
You're welcome. Next, online, Lorraine.
Hi, good evening, everybody. Excuse me, this is Lorraine Quinones. I'm actually a resident in East Los Angeles area, but I'm calling in solidarity with those who have spoke on the public comment of repealing the anti-cruising ordinance. We are a community of cruisers, and we are in solidarity with one another in repealing the ordinance statewide. As Flavio spoke before me, he mentioned ACR 176, written by Assemblywoman Luz Rivas, which has passed successfully. And so this resolution is to honor and pay tribute to the cruising culture. And so many of us are standing in unity with her and one another and making sure that this is a statewide movement, and that the understanding of the cruising culture is one that promotes mental health, it promotes community, it preserves culture, amongst many other things like preserving the arts. It also is actually a gang prevention tool and tactic, which goes against, there's a stigma that where there's lowriders, there's gang members, which is actually discrimination, and it's criminalizing cruising. And it's quite the opposite. Recently, there was a lowrider documentary through the Downtown Film Festival titled The Great American Lowrider Tradition. And it speaks on a lot of these stigmas that are related to cruising. And it is quite the opposite, actually. We go out and we cruise as a form of mental health and stress relief, so we can just relax and enjoy some music. We've invested a lot of money in our cars. We work hard. I'm an educator. Many of us in the lowriding community or cruising community are, you know, productive citizens working hard every day, and we invest in these beautiful pieces of art, which is our cars. I have a 1957 Bel Air, and we have a Nova Super Sport, we have a Malibu, and so these cars provide us a space to work on or building relationships amongst the family, like my father or myself, my husband, and my 2 boys. They work on these cars, they build them up, brother-in-laws. So I stand in solidarity with those who've called in and in person to get the cruising ordinance on the agenda so that we can begin the process to repeal the discriminatory ordinance. Cruising is not a crime, and it's an outdated ordinance that targets a specific group of people. Lowriding is now global wide, and we need to repeal the ordinance now and have it on the agenda to begin the conversation in Modesto. Thank you. Again, this is Lorraine Quiñones.
Thank you. Next, Bob Holloway.
Good evening, Madam Mayor and council members. Thank you very much for listening to all of our comments. I'm also a member of the Modesto Cruisers Council. All of the points have been reiterated several times. They mentioned money. All the local businesses obviously benefit whenever we have a cruise. I don't think, at least I have not heard of anything negative on the cruise that we had on the 9th. I don't think there was any problems with law enforcement. I know that all the trash was picked up. The girls and everybody else, Flavio from SAC and the lady from East LA that just spoke, all made very, very good points. I'm going to put a different spin on it. I was there numerous times as a law enforcement officer enforcing when everything got out of control and the Modesto Police Department had declared it an unlawful assembly. I was there in the middle of that. Prior to being called out as a law enforcement officer to enforce the law and be involved in that, I was on my motorcycle or my hot rod cruising before I had to go to work graveyard. So I have a different spin on everything. I have experiences that I don't think anybody else has had. I have over 60 years in the community cruising motorcycle, hot rods, Turlock, Merced, obviously Modesto. I've seen a lot of things. I saw the violence that happened prior to the cruising ban, which I fully understand because it was totally out of control. We are not those people. Those people are gone. We are a different community. We are different in the sense that we are more community-oriented, we are family-oriented, we cooperate with law enforcement. As was mentioned before, a lot of us have over 100 grand in our cars. Obviously, we're not going to be out there doing something stupid or allow somebody else to do something stupid that's going to jeopardize us or our vehicles. So the whole point of all of us being here, obviously, is to get the cruising ban on the agenda and take a vote on it. And that's what we're here for. And I hope that the city of Modesto, the birthplace of American graffiti, does the right thing and lifts the ban on cruising. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you. Next online, Steve.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, I better get straight to the point since you like to deprive me of time to speak. I just thinking about how this week for a lot of us could bring some, could be looked back upon as a mark, you know, in time. We're looking forward to some really positive changes in this community. We're looking forward to seeing what you're going to do with the results of the discussion from the Forward Together group. And looking forward to that and with great longing for a lot of us, I can't help but to be honest with you, Mayor Zwollen, absolutely disgusted in your behavior. You have been lying to us for about 2 years now about the rules of how public comment is to work. Last time that I called in, someone from the community read the rule over the mic directly to you, and it was very obviously not what you have been telling us. And all you did was just kind of shrug it off and move along. There's a lot of talk throughout this Forward Together initiative about building trust. If you guys want to build trust, you can stop lying to us, and you can actually work intentionally toward giving us a greater voice than what we have. Sam Muncie murdered Paul Chavez. It's obvious. We all can see it in the video. We talk to you about it. We speak from the heart. Where a lot of us are just really heartbroken by what we see, and we care, and we want change. And you say, with your pleasant smile, thank you. And then you lie to us, and you tell us that it's because you're not allowed to speak. Well, we want to hear you say that you care about us, and that you're not just the people that are out of our reach, who control large parts of our lives. We want to know you give a damn about whether our husbands, whether our sons, whether our brothers, whether our grandsons and nephews are murdered by your police officers. Speak. We want to hear from you. I also am extremely disturbed by the fact that when the president of the local chapter of the Proud Boys spoke in this very meeting a couple summers ago, he said that they have many friends in the Modesto Police Department. I have asked so many times. Chief Gillespie refuses to even answer either way, and I want to know why that is. You guys have made a proclamation as a council, and I don't have it in front of me, but the gist of it is basically that this town is for equality. You know, we don't discriminate. We're this and that. We're against the far right. And then we have a police chief, and we also have a sheriff who knows how in with them they are. And then we have a mayor that lies to us, and then we have a council that won't give us 5 minutes to speak. I beg of you, you need to increase the time to 5 minutes, as well as Brandon Gillespie needs to answer whether there are Proud Boys in the Modesto Police Department.
All right, in person, we have Countryman.
I know you think that you're running the city, and you're wrong. It's the DA. Trial in this small claims dispute took place on June 30th, 2022. Margaret and Reed Countryman testified for the plaintiff. Defendant Reed Murphy testified on her own behalf. Both parties submitted packets of evidence for the court's review. Conclusion of trial, the court took the case under submission to review the evidence. Having done so, the court now enters judgment in favor of the plaintiff in the amount of $5,000 plus $50 in costs. This is a neighbor dispute concerning a large two-story building, essentially a tough shed. Defendants built in their backyard approximately 10 years ago. Plaintiff and other neighbors objected to the building on the grounds that it violated setback rules and diminished the value of their property by invading the privacy of their backyards. It appears the zoning commission agreed with these objections and ordered the building removed. However, local government officials have taken no action to remove the building. Many of the neighbors have moved away out of frustration. Plaintiff accused defendant's husband of being a peeping Tom. States she cannot use her backyard or even open the curtains to her master bedroom because she believes defendant's husband is watching her from the second story of the building. Court notes the defendant has blocked the building's second story windows to address these concerns. Nice. However, blocking the second story windows does not change the fact that defendant has erected a two-story building overlooking the plaintiff's backyard in violation of the applicable building codes, and that the looming presence of this building has diminished the value of the plaintiff's property by significantly reducing the usability of the plaintiff's backyard. Although the building was erected over 10 years ago, the court finds that the continued intrusion into her privacy caused by the building represents an ongoing tort legal claim, and thus is not barred by the statute of limitations because this was a decision made by the appeals court. Plaintiff is entitled to compensation for this diminution, is that the way, in value. Judgment for the plaintiff amount of $5,050 in costs. The city has maintained that Mr. Murphy, my money was to go to the jury commissioner, and then the report was to go to the judicial council. That maintains that the defendant, who was the defendant in this appeal, was the plaintiff. That's how you made the Constitution disappear. Nice job.
All right, online I have Teresa Clutter. Bless you.
Hello?
Hello?
Hi. You can hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. My name is Teresa Clutter, and I am the mother-in-law of Paul Chavez, who was murdered by Sam Amuncy on July 14th, 2022. Paul Chavez didn't deserve to die in the manner that he was killed by Samuel Muncy. There was no reason for excessive force to be used that day when the family disturbance 911 call was made. There hasn't been any accountability for Sam Muncy to date. He needs to be fired immediately from his position, as this is his second killing in the last, I believe, 4 to 5 years in the 9 years that he has served. There was no life-saving attempts given while he lied there trying to still breathe after he was tased and shot twice. They just let him lie there on the floor as his wife screamed in the background in disbelief of what we just witnessed. 26 seconds is all Paul Chavez was given from the time of arrival. Standing on the lawn, holding a trailer hitch in his hand, with his hands to his side and not even being verbal while intoxicated and having a mental breakdown. Modesto PD only gave Paul Chavez 26 seconds to comply or die. I've seen multiple videos of different types of crimes, on TV, YouTube, and so forth. And this, by far, is one of the most upsetting, not only because it's personal, but also because they've given strangers and homeless people, I'm not lessening the life of others, but what I'm saying is they've given people more time than the 26 seconds that they gave Paul Chavez that day. There needs to be accountability for these crimes that Sam Muncy has made and the Modesto PD, everybody that was involved that day. They should be ashamed of themselves for the way they handled the situation. And accountability needs to be served in this manner. I'm asking this panel and the mayor to please do what's in the best interest of our family and of Paul Chavez's widow and my 3 grandsons who didn't deserve to hear those shots fired that day that killed their daddy. Do what's right. help us. Thank you.
You're welcome. Mr. Dafford?
My health isn't getting any better, but I hear once again on the sidewalks, it's pretty pathetic that the council, including your staff, Mr. Wright, Jenny, I feel sad that you have a walker, but you discriminate against everyone. And I'm speaking loud now so that way I can hear your voice back, because I have ringing in my ears, not to be abusive to you, but so that way you speak back to me loud enough that I hear you. Nobody here, including the mayor, the city council, the city attorney, the manager, nobody wants to talk to me because they know that they're discriminating against every disabled person, every handicapped person, including yourself. You should be disgusted with yourself that you let this go on. And then you want this lady to help you get through and back to your seat. If you can't make it on your own, apparently you feel to heck with it. Well, then stay in your seat. You don't need to be out there for those pictures. The next thing is the ADA, civil rights. You have violated mine continuously for 18 months. You want me to file a lawsuit against the city? It's headed that way, already filed with the Justice Department. The phone and the recording when you violated the UNRRA Act and the Danes Act by using the police officer and the security of the JPA to violate my civil and constitutional rights. You can't do it. Every one of you are guilty of civil rights violations. And I hope that the Department of Justice sends me a letter to come back and have every one of you arrested and thrown in jail. And the further thing is under the Danes Act, if you send that security, you buzz that security to come there to bother me, you violated my rights, my civil rights, because I always have numbers of addresses and stuff that show that the city isn't doing the proper acts and repairing properly the sidewalks. Mr. Wright, you told me no more asphalt's going to be used after I talked to you up there. First time in 18 months. You know what? Nobody likes lied. Madam Mayor, lies. City manager, lies. City attorney, lies. All of you liars. Where's the deceit and the honesty? You got deceit, but where's your honesty? You got some people that work in the city that are honest, but you're all a bunch of liars. You all should resign, because if I can get you arrested under civil rights, I'm damn sure going to do it, because you're not obeying it. And I'm going to sue the heck out of this city under UNRRA, civil rights, under the ADA, and under Baines. You need to get your act together. I've asked to speak to you. You're all cowards and hide in your office. Every one of you are hired. It's ridiculous. And under Baines Act, the police officer, if you haven't committed a violent threat or a violent act of which you have a video or an audio or both, you can't do anything to that person. That police officer has to turn his back and walk away, or he faces a lawsuit. And the chief needs to tell all of his officers that. Shame on you. Now I'm going to ask you right now, who of you is going to willfully stand up and resign? Because your city attorney isn't doing his job either.
Wait. Madam Mayor?
Yes.
Madam Mayor? Just wanted to let the gentleman know that when you first brought this to our attention, I brought this to our city attorney to basically ask, is there any possible, legal exposure for the city? And so our city attorney researched this. He's on the line. He could probably elaborate better than I can. But the answer that I got basically is that the asphalt patchwork on the sidewalks that we have been providing as an alternative to the cement is legal. And so I wanted you to know that I did follow up. Whether you like the response or not, I want you to know that I took the time to follow up on your concern.
Yes.
And that's the response I got. And before you go any further, if I could just get the city attorney who's available online to just elaborate a teeny bit more on this. Before you go on.
Can we wait for him for a second? Because I got an if on here that deals with what you had to say. That's if it is according to the ADA standards, not the Modesto Muni Code. And the standards say when you apply that asphalt and it's 5 inches or higher or 6 inches or higher, it requires handrails. None of them are there. None of them.
So if you could allow the city attorney to elaborate on this, please.
And through the mayor, I know the item is not on the agenda for discussion. Just real quickly, I know that the claims department, as far as the risk management, has been dealing with this issue as well. It has been looked at, and we've also talked with the public works department as well. I know that risk management has been dealing with these claims, and it has been following the process. But the legal research that has been done it is, Mr. Madrigal, correct that it has been legal, but it is being something that's been handled or is being handled by the risk management department.
All right.
Anything beyond that, sir, that's separate, but I want you to know I at least took the time to follow up on your complaint, your request about the patchwork and whether or not we meet, whether or not we have any legal exposure because we've been violating any laws, especially ADA.
You do, because I can tell you, Scenic Avenue, I have photos of the situation, 10 inches high, the pyramid of the sidewalk. McHenry Avenue, 8.5 inches high, the pyramid of the sidewalk. It doesn't matter how much asphalt you lay, until you bring that down and you put handrails, you're still in violation. And then the next thing is what about the power pole, the street light on 9th Street, and the other poles that are all blocking the access? Wait, you say you've looked at everything. And the access of the telephone poles that are there that block the access of every handicap and every disabled there. And it's the city that installed the lights and took 17.5 months for me to find out because you blamed the sidewalk problem on Caltrans when in fact your public works director violated my UNRWA rights by sending me to see Christina Algers, your HR manager, who was never there. And so I would have to go back up and nobody's there. Too bad. Well, that's 2 times $4,000 because every time you violate my UNRWA rights, you owe me $5,000 or $4,000. That's per the ordinance. That's per the law. And I have about 7,000 times that the city has violated my rights, either through failure to answer the question that I sent somebody in later to find out the same information, that I was forced to see Christina Algers at the HR office, and she wasn't even there. And then I waited one time for 4 hours for her to get back. She's not coming back, sir. Somebody told you a misinformation. Really? You want to waste my day and my time? That's how it is. You owe me you owe me more than 7,000 times 4, $28 million. $28 million for the violations of the acts you did. And on Briggsmore, the same thing when Derek Holt came out there and says, oh, well, we don't own Briggsmore. I think this is the state highway. It wasn't true. It was city street, and I knew it. And
all right, we're going to have to.
One moment,
okay.
Ma'am, one moment.
We need to wrap it up.
Yeah, I know we need to wrap it. But I was forced to walk around every day and walk back, because my home is in that area, twice a day, past those 7 humps. 7 times 4 is $28,000 each time I passed it, there and back, and I didn't know it, and I didn't find out until the end of August, and that's August of 2022. So every time that you didn't fix it, you owed me $28,000. And now you want to make up these lies and deceits about time and this and that. It's all wrong. And not
All right.
one of you have had the...
Mr. Dafford, we're going to have to move on. We have to move on.
move on. But not one of you have had the gall to open your office and try to talk to me except for one. And I thank you, Mr. Wright. But I wish you'd have been honest. I don't think asking any more is that. What about the honesty? I'm turning in a claim. I see an attorney tomorrow. Hope you enjoy the lawsuit.
All right, next person online I see is Brittany.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
All right, my name is Brittany Estrella Chavez. I am the wife of Paul David Chavez Jr. My husband was shot and killed by Samuel Muncie, July 14, 2022. I want to talk about stance. See, when my best friend, his cousin, actually showed me a picture and said, "Have you ever noticed how they were standing?" I said, "No, how do you mean?" She sends me the picture of Valencia and Muncie. Now, Valencia on the left-hand side is standing very normal, I guess casual, you could say, except for that he has a taser in his hand. But Muncie, on the other hand, on the right of him, was propped down, full position, ready to unleash. And that's exactly what he did. He unleashed 2 rounds into my husband's chest. The reason being from the side of Modesto is because he wasn't being compliant. What is your definition of compliant? Because to me, it seemed like he may have been incoherent. He was intoxicated. He was woke up on a lawn at a neighbor's house, sleeping it off. Gets woken up by Valencia, and then Muncie shortly after, screaming and yelling at him. They didn't call him his name. They didn't know if that was him. But then I started doing more digging with my sister, and this is what I found out. My husband didn't have his wallet on him. You never came up to him and asked him who he was. In fact, if that is who the call was for, you immediately assumed, tased him and shot him twice. Off of the phone call that he was being a threat. But at that moment, in that time, he was not a threat. He was sleeping and got woken up to being yelled at with a taser to his face, shortly later with a gun pointed at him. So that gives me the intel that maybe Muncie knew my husband. Maybe Valencia knew my husband. Because how did you know that that was Paul Chavez Jr.? You went off of assumption? Yeah, no, see, and at that time, in that moment, that is when I knew that this was even a bigger issue, a bigger problem. So that means you literally cannot call the police on anything, especially family disturbances. That gave me the indication that I have to police my own family. That gave me the indication that I now have to not only tell my sons that the world is bad, but the officers who are supposed to protect us from the bad are also bad. Not to trust all officers who wear those uniforms. It saddens me that nobody in the city of Modesto has reached out except for community, strangers. You would think somebody on the council or the mayor or the police department, somebody. I'm so sorry for what your family is having to go through right now. And there's no words that I can possibly tell you. But just know that we're sorry and we're going to work better as a community. I ain't gotten any of that. Neither has my family or our sons. Now I have where I pick up my kids and we're driving and my son sits there and says, Mom, guess what? I said, what's up, son? I seen Dad today. I said, son, please, let's not do this again. I can't do this with you and tell you that Dad's not coming back. I can't do this right now. He said, but I did see Dad, Mom. I said, what do you mean you seen Dad? He goes, I was at school and I was at the playground and he was at the bottom of the playground. I said, what? He goes, yeah. He goes, he waved at me and said hi and smiled, and it made me feel so good, Mom. So I rushed down the slide to go see him, but he was gone. And I thought for a minute that I was going to be a day that I didn't cry, and that freaking crushed me. It crushes me that my sons or myself or my family members try to get as much sleep as we can just so that way we would hope to God that we can see his face one more time, because we can't. We'll never get him back. What are you guys going to do to help us? You are put in that seat because you're supposed to have the upper hand. You're supposed to be carrying this stress, this strain. Not me, not my boys, not my family. You all are. But no, you listen to words, you get into your vehicle and say, that was longer than usual. Oh, the Chavez gang came back again. Did you hear all that? I could only imagine that there's no sympathy because I don't see it on you. Not your face expressions, not your gestures. I'm pretty sure just one of your council members was just actually speaking to the last man who's talking. But my husband, who was murdered and shot and was still fighting for his last breath after I had to scream at the sergeant and the 2 cops and the EMT to do something about it while they just did nothing and just, like it was casual, it was no thing. I get left with no words.
All right, next in person, we have Leonardo Hernandez. Welcome.
Hi.
Hi there.
My name is Leonardo Hernandez. I'm a student at Mohai, and I wanted to talk about if you guys could build a skate park for Modesto, because me and my friends back there, we all wanted to come to talk about a Modesto park, because usually around Modesto, when we all skate, we either get kicked out or the cops called on us, and we're not bad kids or anything. We don't smoke, drink, go out, party late night. But we do at times fear for our safety around, because us, when we skate, we do skate at night, like 8 or 9, and there's usually times where we get scared because there's like people that are on drugs and just walk around. Like I think it was a few weeks ago, me and my friends were kind of assaulted by this guy that said he was gonna rape and kill us. So we kind of were scared at that moment, and kind of feel like we don't have a place in Modesto that all skaters around can just come together and just be, safe in a spot that we could just all have fun and just have a place that we can all connect, since we all, skate, and that is all.
Right. Appreciate you being here tonight. Thank you. Sure.
Mayor?
I don't know, were you, Councilmember Chris Riggi, were you going to tell him about the grant?
Yeah, I was just going to tell about Chavez. We're already building a skate park on that side of town, so I just want to make sure you do that.
Oh, you guys are?
Yeah, the city got a grant from the state to redo all of Cesar Chavez Park in West Modesto, and that whole renovation includes a skate park at Cesar Chavez Park. Unfortunately, the park renovation has been a bit delayed because, as everybody says, pandemic, supplies, labor, whatnot. But there will be a renovation of all of Cesar Chavez Park, and that will include a skate park above ground, just to be clear, not a bowl, but
Okay.
it's something.
All right, sounds good.
But
Thank you.
keep coming back. We love hearing from young folks like you about the stuff we need.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Online, I see Anna.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Paul Chavez Jr., a husband, father, brother, son, uncle, cousin, and friend. Paul Chavez was a lot of things in this world. Something he was not was someone who deserved to be murdered by Sam Muncy in front of his wife. In the end, no one deserves that. Here's a quote from the Modesto Police Department Policy Manual again. Use of force. The department recognizes and respects the value of all human life and dignity without prejudice to anyone. Vesting officers with the authority to use reasonable force and to protect the public welfare requires monitoring, evaluation, and a careful balancing of all interest. Sam Muncy did none of these things. Sam Muncy never identified Paul as the person they were looking for. Paul could have easily been his eldest son, who has the same name, one of his brothers. Hell, he could have even been any of the neighbors. A fact that seems to be overlooked was the fact that Sam Muncy shot twice towards a house that wasn't previously cleared, a house that could have held a family that could have been hurt due to the reckless shooting done by Sam Muncy. He gave Paul no time to comprehend what was being screamed at him. So, Chief, I ask you again, why was Paul given only two options? Why was it comply or die? Arriving on a call and murdering your, quote, suspect within 23 seconds. Is that how you're training your officers? We are demanding justice. We are Paul's voice as his was taken away from him. Sam Muncy does not get to assign himself as judge, jury, and executioner. Sam Muncy's actions, good and bad, are an extension of you, right, Chief? So I guess it's you assigning him as Paul's judge, jury, and executioner, right?
All right, in person, Ricky White.
Hello, hi everybody. My name is Ricky White. I'm a local real estate agent. I'm with the Community Workforce Housing Coalition. I want to touch base on the matter of the community golf course. Before you guys make your final decision, I just want to encourage you guys to put housing on muni golf course property. There's more than 15,000 households in Modesto that need housing. From my personal experience, I had several clients that lived in Modesto more than 30 years. They couldn't find housing due to low inventory. Unfortunately, they had to move out, and it was kind of heartbreaking. I think it's unfair. The people of Modesto have to find other places to live due to low inventory. And the inventory that is there are investors that's just buying up all the property, and when they do buy it, they're raising up the rent. So not only people that want to own houses are being affected, also renters. Also, that is a possible plan for an opportunity site to put 579 mixed housing there, and it seemed like a good possibility. And when y'all do make that decision, we just want to know a good timeline. Like, is it going to be a year from now, 5 years, 2 years? Pretty much the whole community just want to figure out, like, when are we going to get housing? Everybody's in desperate need of housing. As a real estate agent, it's really heartbreaking to say, hey, you got to find a different city. And like, after being here for 30 years, like, everybody like, oh, I know friends and family, and I just want more inventory, so that's it.
All right, thank you. I do not have any more blue cards or see anyone else online. Is there anyone else wishing to come forward to speak under public comment? Sure, step right up.
evening, Mayor. Good evening, council members and everybody that's helped me out. I'd just like to say I spoke to, I'm going to use first names or last names. I'm sorry. I'm getting used to everybody. New faces, new mayor, everything. I've been here about 7 years, so about 3 or 4 years I've been around. And first and foremost, I would like to say this, and I'm going to pick on Tony just for a second here. Tony, I got together with you 4 years ago. And I talked to you about the sidewalks. They developed it. They had it on there. They even had said the pitch and everything for the wheelchairs and all this. Okay? What wasn't included is where Kansas meets up with Carpenter. That area was supposed to be done and completed. Number one, it was overbidded for the project. It was never completed, and it still isn't. That pavement he's talking about ended my wheelchair up against that pole and in the street in a wheelchair. Okay? I'm letting you know that now. I didn't sue you guys. I didn't come after you guys. I still have the agenda. I still have your notes. And if you don't believe me, I can submit them back to them with the council, to everybody and the mayor, to make sure that this gets public information. Everybody can laugh about things and everything. There's a disability. I work for the street team. We push carts. We know those sidewalks. We know we got to turn our carts around to go up certain ones. And we know that you guys got a bid in for these sidewalks that you're talking about. I'm going to give you that time. I want to see some changes. I want to see some things done. Okay, but I'm letting you know now. You said some statements to this guy, and he's serious. And I'll join that lawsuit if it takes time to make you understand that this needs to be properly done. And it needs to be bidded and it needs to be on time. That's it for that. The one and last thing that I want to talk about, on the 2nd of this month, I got assault with a deadly weapon over by Salvation Army on D Street and 9th Street. Chief Gillespie said to know about it. Rosa knows about it. Diane knows about it. The mayor was informed. And I understood that you guys override Salvation Army. I have been through heck and back. I'll just say that. I'm telling you right now. And first of all, the first thing an officer asks you when you pull you over, can I see your driver's license and registration? You know what you did or whatever. I'm going to tell you something. I'm a human being, and I have dignity. And if you can't spend my name right on the report, when I give you my driver's license for each and every report on here that you're making, that's disgusting to the city, and it does look bad. Everything that these people are talking about, there's just too much animosity that's going around. Listen to what these people are saying out here. Okay, there's just too much crime happening. My First Amendment was told that, well, the guy didn't do anything to you, didn't put hands on you. I asked to speak to the sergeant. It's in the paperwork. It's in the CAD. It's in the incident report. Everything. Chief Gillespie knows about it, and I'm tired of this. It needs to be handled, and this person needs to be arrested. She's kicked off the property of Salvation Army, and she's still coming on the property, and this is getting swept under the carpet. Well, it's not going underneath the carpet, because I'll tell you what, Bank of America in San Francisco is ready to take this. It's got 20 quarters, and I'm not kidding you, of attorneys that's going to start showing up. I went to the 5th District. I went to the Josh Harder. I did all this. I've exhausted all my remedies, ma'am. I'm tired. I'm upset with the system, and you need to listen. And as far as the crews, give it to these guys. Give them peace. Give them glory. Give them happiness. Let them see it. The library people that stood up here, listen to them. They got it coming. I've seen it happen and the change happen in libraries, okay? I'm glad that they're getting it rebuilt. Give them what they want. Cut that ribbon again, okay, at that library. Let them see the pictures. Let the world see that this place is going to be a better place than Harmony. These youngsters didn't vote for this this year because of this. I hear it all the time and talk to people throughout, through this town. And I hear a lot of people right now why they didn't vote for this town. And that's why. Bring these youngsters in here. Let them understand what's going on with this, in the community. Let us be known. Let us pass everybody up in Sacramento or where our state is. Capital. It's going to be happiness.
That sounds great. That sounds great. Thank you for your comments. Can you
see? You're ignoring me, and I'm telling you right now, this is a bad report. It's a bad report to spell my name, and no apologies from you or anybody else standing up back there. Why? And Chief Gillespie isn't even stepping up to the plate to even offer any of that either. I got 12 officers on this, listed on this paper right now with my name spelled, and each time having my license and hand it to them, ma'am. Would you like to be disrespected like that? I'm a United States citizen and I do have rights. And I do have a First Amendment. I asked to see a sergeant or lieutenant and they denied me and it's on a report. Why? This is going to get addressed to and it's not going to get dropped with me or the people that's been speaking otherwise with the things that's been happening on the streets.
All right, I hear your comments. Thank you.
Come on, Roger.
All right, are there any other members of the public that would like to speak under public comment? All right, before we move on to consent items, we will take a 5-minute break and return at about 7:32. Thank you.